Today, I'm going to take you through a 20-minute kettlebell abs and core workout. You can do this as a follow along with me. I'm going to be using a 10 kilo, that's about 22-pound kettlebell and an exercise mat. We're going to do 13 exercises, 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off for 2 rounds. Let's get into the workout. So we're going to start off with a quarter get up. So if you lie on your back, take the kettlebell in your right hand, bend your right knee, straighten your left arm and your left leg. And what we're going to do is we're going to sit up through until you're leaning on the elbow and reaching the kettlebell up towards the ceiling. You're going to pause and then slowly lower back down. Make sure that right knee isn't collapsing towards the center. You're going to have a nice reach. Try not to sink into the shoulder. Push through and reach tall. Right, we're going to take it to the other side. So bend the left knee, straighten the right leg. Take the kettlebell on the outside of the wrist on the left side. Just up to the elbow, reach nice and tall. Okay, next up we've got a Russian twist. I prefer Russian twists to keep my heels on the floor and lean back. It takes some pressure out of my back and I can keep a little bit more length to my spine. So you're going to lean back. Always have your chest facing the kettlebell. I see a lot of people just tapping the kettlebell each side using their arms. We're trying to get rotation of the torso. If you want to make it harder, just lean back a little bit more as you do it. But to keep pressure out your back, try and posture upright through the spine slightly. All right, we're gonna take the kettlebell, we're gonna put it just on one side of the mat. We're gonna do a plank pass. So you're gonna come into a press up position. I'm gonna do it on my knuckles, but you can do it on your palms. You're going to reach the opposite hand under, pass the kettlebell to the other side of the mat. Reach the opposite hand under, pass to the other side of the mat. We're going to try and do this without twisting the hips. So you're going to lock those glutes in. Imagine you're balancing a pint glass on your tailbone, trying not to spill it. Great job. Okay, next up, we're gonna put the kettlebell at the top of your mat. We're gonna do some reverse crunches. You can hold on to the kettlebell loosely, but you shouldn't be pulling on it too hard. You're just gonna roll those knees up towards your chest and then back down till your tailbone meets the floor. Try and keep your legs bent. Make sure your back doesn't arch off the mat when you come down to the bottom position. Great job with that. Next up, we're gonna do a single arm Otis up. So you're gonna lie on your back, take the kettlebell in your right hand, slightly bent legs, left arm hovering. You're gonna sit upright, reach to the top, and then lower back down. Nice explosive power up and through because it's probably going to be quite heavy. Lowering back down. We're going to do 30 seconds on this side. You got 15 seconds off. And you got 30 seconds on the other side. always finish your rep off even if the beeper goes. Okay, we're gonna take it to the other side. So you've got a tiny bend in your legs, but your legs should be almost straight. We're gonna keep this arm straight for the whole set. If you're struggling with this, then you could just hold the kettlebell in both hands and do 2 sets of double arm otis ups, or use a lighter kettlebell if you've got a selection. You want to really posture upright through this top position, creating this almost L-sit position. Great job. Next up, we've got something called a sprinter crunch. So you're going to keep your legs in a similar position, but this time you're going to hold the kettlebell in both hands. We're not going to sit all the way up this time. We're just going to do a small crunch and tuck one knee to the center. So small crunch, tuck in, return the head back to the floor, return the leg. Next knee comes in, crunch up and return. And then we're going to repeat that at a slightly faster pace. It's not a sit up, it's a crunch and squeeze action with a little knee tuck to the center. Oh, that's a tough one. Next up, we've got some leg raises. We're actually going to hover the kettlebell about a 45-degree angle out like that. And we're going to do some leg raises until your tailbone lifts off. So tailbone comes off, and I'm going to lower down, but I'm only going to go as low as I can go without my lower back arching off the floor. If it helps, you can take your head off the floor if you find that it stops you from overarching your back and helps you to engage your abs, or just rest it down. Oh, if you do that properly, it's really difficult. Okay, next up we've got a reach and crunch. So we can bring your feet to a full, so your knees to a full bend, kettlebell in both hands. This is just a small crunch action. So you're gonna reach up, squeeze those abs at the top and back down. So reach the shoulder blades off the floor, squeeze those abs, back down. You can keep your lower back on the floor, but we're gonna reach your upper back and your shoulder blades off. You're gonna tense your abs, hold at the top for 2 seconds, back down and repeat. Good job. You can do this standing. I'm going to do it kneeling down, just so I can fit in the camera better. We're going to do a lateral bend. So take the kettlebell onto one side. You're going to reach down as far as you can, touch the knee and come back to the center. You're going to reach down, touch your leg gently on the side. Try and touch the same spot each time. So these sides are lifting as they contract and going back to that center position. Imagine you're going to reach to the floor, but you're staying lateral. Don't lean forwards or backwards. All right, you can guess it. We're going to go to the other side next. So just not leaning forwards or back, complete lateral bend. Let's take it to the other side. Just going to reach these fingertips down towards the floor. I'm going to tap my side and then come back. Good, these muscles here, I'm going to squeeze some of your obliques. We've got a tough one to finish the round. We're going to do a kettlebell jackknife crunch. So it's going to be a mix of a reaching crunch and a leg raise combined. So we're going to come out into that 45-degree angle, legs hovering the same. We're going to close it to the center, reach the kettlebell towards the shoelaces, and then open back up. And we're going to repeat that. So you're reaching up,
opening out. When you open out, don't let your lower back arch. Head and shoulders should reach off the floor as you bring the kettlebell up. Whoa, that's a tricky one to finish on. We've got 30 seconds off, so we've just got one more round, so stick with me. Don't quit. We've got just one more go at all those exercises. You've had the practice now, so you can neaten that technique up. Let's start with the right side. So left leg down, left arm down, right knee up, right arm up. We're going to sit through to that elbow on the quarter get up. Technique tips. Try not to let that left leg fling up in the air. Try and keep the heel down. Try not to let the right knee collapse in. Naturally, you'll probably want to roll to the side and cheat up like that. Let's try not to do that. Try and keep your chest facing more towards the ceiling. All right, taking it to the other side. Remember, we've got 15 seconds between intervals. So left knee up, left arm up, and the other side's down. Okay, on to those Russian twists. If you're struggling with the Russian twists, you could just cross your arms and do it without. But if you can do it with a kettlebell, that'd be great. So we're gonna lean back. I'm gonna turn, keeping my chest facing the kettlebell throughout. Feel free to hover those legs if you want. It's just a personal preference for me. I prefer to keep my heels down, keep some length to my spine and keep some pressure out of my lower back. And we come into a plank position or a press up position, press up plank. You can either be on your hands like this, or I'm going to go knuckles just to take a bit of stress out of the wrists. Remember, you're reaching across with the opposite hand. So I'm going to reach across and under, pull that kettlebell to the outside of the mat. I'm going to try and minimize any swivel of the hips, and I'm going to do that by tensing my glutes. If you're struggling, try a wider foot position, it will be slightly easier. And if it's too easy, try a narrower foot position, it'll get harder. You take the kettlebell to the top of the mat. I'm going to do those reverse crunches. So we've got bent leg position, so it's different to a leg raise. And you're going to roll your knees towards your chest. Slowly back down till your tailbone makes contact with the mat. Actually, the more bent your legs are throughout, the harder it's going to be to lift them. Great job with that. Next up, I've got those Otis up. So I'm going to take it in my left hand. I'm going to straighten both legs out, almost straight. Got that full sit up, nice posture upright. You should be able to draw a straight line from the hand down into the hips. When you get to that top finish position, I've unlocked my knees just to take any stretch out the hamstring. You can do it with straight legs like this if you're more flexible. It's a tough one. And then over to the other side. So almost straight legs, maybe a slight bend in the knee. A little bit of power on the way up. Try and keep some control on the way down. Okay, next up we've got those sprinter crunches. So remember, it's not a full sit-up. I'm gonna put the legs in a similar position. You're just gonna do a little reaching crunch and tuck, alternating knees to chest. So you're gonna alternate knees, but you do a reaching crunch with every rep. Head and shoulders reach off the floor. When you're in the open position, you should have a nice flat back, even when you open out. Definitely a burner. Okay, we've got the leg raises. So we're gonna hold that kettlebell at a 45-degree angle. You should have straight or almost straight legs. We're gonna do leg raises towards the kettlebell. If you're struggling with this, the beginner option would be to get rid of the kettlebell, tuck your hands underneath your glutes for support and do them like that. But if you can do the full one, that'd be great. Definitely a tough one. Okay, so we've got the reaching crunch next, so we're just rolling the hips around. So this time we're rolling the sternum up. So reach, squeeze, 1, 2, and down. 1, 2, and down. So it's just a stack and squeeze of the abs. We've got lateral bends and the kettlebell jackknife, and you're done for this video. So onto your knees or standing up if you want. Your side bend. Okay, taking it to the other side. Just 2 intervals left now. If you're doing this workout and you want to help reveal your abs, then check out my lean body nutrition plan, which will go perfectly with this. So this is great for developing your abs. And then obviously you're going to have to do some work in the kitchen. So I'll link that in the description. We've got the jackknife crunches. And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for joining me.
Let me know in the comments below, how did you find that workout and where in the world are you following along from? Here's a playlist of some of my other kettlebell workouts. Here's another workout that you could have a go at right now. Check out that lean body nutrition plan linked in the description below. Hit the thumbs up button, make sure you subscribe, and see you again soon for another workout.